What is up, everybody? Welcome to today's live stream where I am talking about my goals and what I'm working on at the moment. So I had a question by one of our UMS online personal training members who's been working with me for a few years now. And his goals have changed and evolved over time and really become more focused. And Alex asked me recently, he said, what are you working on? I'd love to know what your goals are, because he's been working with me for about 3 years now. And, our tribe members are pretty invested in what Yanni and me are working on. Everybody is, we're all on that same journey together. So today I'm going to be breaking down what my goals are, what I'm working on, and why I have been working on it. So hopefully this is going to help you guys, get a little bit of an understanding of what goes into my mind, my training, why I do it, and what my goals are, and why I'm working on them. And before I jump into that, I'm just going to take a real quick moment. I hope you guys don't mind to give a shout out to our sponsor. So VPA Australia are the supplement company of choice for Yanni and I. We've been using these guys for a decade now, and we use them because of their high quality supplements. They honestly are the best quality at the best price that I've found. So the way I got onto them was because of their protein powder. It's really important for Yanni and me that we have Australian made or New Zealand made whey, grass fed whey, which is a much higher quality than what a lot of other companies are using. And this stuff comes at a good price, and they've got a bunch of other really great supplements, and this is really what fuels my my muscle growth and my training. I'm a big believer in taking whey protein, so go and check them out. Go to vpa.com.au, and if you're overseas, you can contact them to get a flat shipping rate if you tell them that I sent you there. So that's my little shout out there. Hope you guys don't mind me doing that. So my goals have changed a lot over the years. So hi Kyle, hi Holger, thank you for joining me on the stream, and thanks for saying hello. Anybody else that's watching, give me a holler, give me a shout out. Let me know where you're watching from so I can say hello and shout back. So I kind of feel like I have to go a little bit through my evolution of training, because I've been training now I'm 46 now. I've been training for, I guess 30 years. I started really committing to my training when I was 17, so 29 years ago, which is when I started kickboxing. I did that for a couple of years, and then I switched to Kung Fu, and I stuck with Kung Fu for about 12 or 13 years. And then when I got out of the army, I joined the army when I was 30 and did just crazy training in the army, just really silly stuff. And when I got out of the army, my body was broken. I was in a lot of pain. I was, I'd fractured my spine. I'd lost any flexibility that I had. I was really stiff, and I was weak. I was very, very weak. I hadn't done any good upper body strength training when I was in the army. And so I made the decision that I wanted to switch to calisthenics. I wanted to find something that was going to motivate me, that I could move forward with. I didn't really want to keep pursuing Kung Fu anymore, because I could see how one-dimensional it was. And actually, in all honesty, the real turning point for me was when I did a workshop with Ido Portal. I did Movement X back in, I think it was 2017. So I would have been, how old was I then? I would have been 39 or 38 or whatever it was. And that really opened my eyes up to the possibility of just, pursuing movement. You didn't have to be a martial artist, or you didn't have to be a calisthenics person, or you didn't have to be a weights person. And that's really how I saw the world and how I saw training before I met Ido Portal. He really opened my eyes to that, because in my gym, my brother was a weightlifter. He was a bodybuilder. He was into bodybuilding. Somebody else that's a good friend of mine now, Sebastian Obe, aka Australian Strength Coach. He was a coach in Unity Gym at the time, and he was a power lifter. And I was a martial artist, and that's how I saw training. Like you chose which discipline you wanted to do, and that's what you did. And so I made this decision to be a calisthenics person. But then when I went and worked with Ido, he opened my eyes up to this idea that you could do whatever you wanted. You could take a bit from this and a bit from that. And as good as that was for sort of opening my mind up and opening my perspective up, it was also really bad for me. because what I did was I started working on way too many things at once. Like I was just trying to do everything, man, and it got me some really bad injuries. You know, I did a slap tear in my right shoulder shortly after that, and I thought I'll find some footage that I can go back to and share with you guys. And so I had a look at my personal Instagram profile, which I don't even manage anymore. I just manage the Unity Gym Instagram profile to show you guys some stuff. And this is me working on the exact move that I did my slap tear on. This is the move that I did my first slap tear on. And when I watch this, it is so obvious why I did it. This is so bad what I'm doing here. I'm so weak at this. I don't have even fractionally close to the amount of strength that's required for this progression. Because you see, when I do the scapular push-up, my shoulders are elevating. I'm not able to maintain scapular depression when I do the scapular push-up. You can see now already how much I'm fatiguing. I'm losing the protraction as I come back. I don't have any strength to be able to elevate my hips. You know, so much weight is in my feet when I do that. You know, when you do this movement, so from this point here, your butt is meant to come up, like you're meant to be really relying on the strength in your shoulders. And it was very shortly after this that doing that exact move that I did a slap tear, probably the worst injury that I've ever had in my adult life. And, you know, my training back in these days, like I was all about, you know, doing the movement. I wanted to be able to do all these cool things, and I was just putting my focus into so many different things. You know, I was working on press to handstands, and you know, I was working on all these locomotion and flow movements, and you know, I just really wanted to be the best mover that I could be. And so this must be before 2019, because I did my first, there it is, 2018. Yeah, so this was about 6 or 8 months before I did my slap tear. And it just really completely changed. Actually, you know what? It didn't completely change the way I did things, because what I did is I did another slap tear in the other shoulder 14 months later after I'd rehabilitated the first one. So I didn't learn my lesson on the first slap tear. I had to get a second slap tear. And that was the moment that really made me change my perspective and the way that I was doing things, because it was just so obvious to me that I wasn't strong enough for what I was trying to do. And, you know, I thought I was following such a good program. I was, you know, this is what the evolution of the UMS is. You know, Yanni and I have really tested and refined what we do to get the unified movement system to where it is. And you know what? Any of you guys that are interested in this, you should go to our website, unitygym.com. I just spent a lot of work over the past week creating a video where I'm teaching like how I got into the best shape of my life at age 46 now, because I really am in the best shape of my life now. You know, when I was in the army, I was in a bad state, and this is me now. This is a couple of months ago. I've built about 10 kilograms or 22 pounds of muscle in the past 3 years, and through what I'm about to describe to you guys. And it is all, you know, due to focus, to laser focus on you know, what I want to do. And so if you go back 5 years ago, my goals were I wanted to be able to do locomotion and flow, and I had specific moves that I was trying to unlock. I wanted to be able to do a one-arm pull-up. I wanted to be able to do a handstand push-up. I wanted to be able to do a planche. I wanted to be able to do a front lever. I wanted to be able to do handstands, press to handstands, and all these things. Some of the things I unlocked, like I unlocked a press to handstand years ago, you know, muscle ups and handstands and things like that. But the things that I still haven't been able to unlock, and I can just see it so clearly now. If I had my time again and I had a focused, I would have got this sooner, and I would have done it without, you know, getting these slap tears. And so now I only have 2 goals. I have one push goal and one pull goal, and that is a handstand push-up and a one-arm pull-up. But when you have goals, you know, you always have to, like, you've got to be able to look at, here's my goal and here's where I am. And so what are the steps that I have to go through to get me there? And right now, the biggest steps that I have to get, that I have to achieve, that I have to unlock is being able to do one rep pull-up with 50% of my body weight added to it. So for me, that's 45 kilograms. I weigh 90 kilograms or 200 pounds. So it's 100 pounds added to a pull-up. And I haven't tested my 1RM for a while because there's no point in testing 1RMs until you're really sure that you're going to be able to hit the target that you want to be able to hit. And the last time I was doing, I'm about to start a strength phase again where I will do wave loading. I'll do 5-3-2, 5-3-2. So that's what wave loading is, where you do 5 reps, then you increase the weight 3 reps, then increase the weight 2 reps, and then you repeat the wave again. But the last time I was doing 3RM training, so 3 rep max for pull-ups, I was doing 26 kilos or 28 kilos, and that's not like for one set, that's for all 5 sets. I'm maintaining that same weight, which is what you absolutely should be doing when you're doing strength training. You shouldn't just be able to do it for one set. And generally speaking, like 1 rep, to be able to go up in 1 rep, you usually to go down in 1 rep, so to go from 3 reps to 2 reps, you could usually increase the amount of weight that you're lifting by about 5%. So if I went from 3 reps to 1 rep, it would go, the total weight that I could lift would go up by about 10%. And so you've got to take your body weight, which for me is 90 kilograms plus 26 kilograms, so it's 116 kilograms. So I could add roughly 10 to 12 kilograms. So I'd be looking at doing maybe 38 kilograms. So I think I'd be pretty close to that 1RM, but I'm not ready to test it yet. And the main reason I'm not ready to test it yet is because I'm not rushing. This is a major shift in the way that I do my training now, is that I am not in a rush. It's all about 1% better every week, every month, and if you can get that 1% better every week, the way that stacks up over a year is huge, and it's working really, really well for me. And then for my push goal, because anybody that's been watching my videos for a while, I talk about how so that's my big, hairy, audacious goal, is the handstand push-up and the one-arm pull-up, but then break it down to here. My number one goal at the moment is to build more muscle in my chest, because, when I go back far enough, the amount of muscle that I had in my chest, like when I did my slap tears, I just had virtually nothing. I've always been a really shoulder-dominant person, and Yana used to always make fun of me, but I just didn't give a shit because I didn't consider myself to be a bodybuilder. I was just somebody that liked martial arts and liked movement, and I didn't care that I didn't have a physique. And I've actually got a picture here of me when I had 0 chest. How can I get that over there? There we go. So so that's this is before I started this sort of hypertrophy journey, and I mean I just had no muscle on my chest whatsoever, and this is just, a couple of years before I did the slap tears. And a part of it is because when I was doing that planche, your chest, your pushing muscles are a big part of that. And if you look at this is me. I'm a lot more muscular now. I've put on about 5 kilos since then. So, it's all about identifying for me, like it's the goal that I have. So I've got my big goal, and then it's breaking it down into the steps. And there's so much to it, because when you do that, it changes the way that you program. It changes the way that you do mesocycles. Like, it's not just about pushing and thinking I'm just going to build my chest up and I'm just going to get strong. Like, you have to use really good periodization and really intelligent programming, where you have like a mesocycle is generally, for me, it's 4 weeks, and then you'll have a macro cycle, which is 2, 3, or 4 mesocycles, where you'll have a goal with your macro cycle. And then that dictates the way that you do your working out. And again, if you want to learn all about this on a much more in-depth level, and how I put it all together, go to unitygym.com and watch the video that I've put up on my homepage there. It really breaks it all down for you. So it's so those are my goals. That's how I've changed how I do things now. I have so I still work on handstands. Because handstands are something that I can definitely manage and still do with my goals. And I still work on flexibility. So I still do strength and flexibility in all my workouts and in all my training. That really is the secret sauce to the Unified Movement System, is the way that we combine strength and flexibility into the same workout. And the beauty of it is that, you have to rest between your strength training sets. And so instead of just sitting there doing nothing, I use that rest period to do my flexibility work. But, 10 years ago, I started this whole journey when I was starting this calisthenics journey. The biggest goal that I had back then was flexibility, because I was really inflexible. I couldn't do the splits. I couldn't do a good pike. I couldn't do a pancake. And those things were restricting me from doing press to handstand. That was the biggest thing that was holding me back then. And so I worked really hard on flexibility. But the good thing about strength or flexibility training is it actually takes about 10% of the work to maintain what you've achieved than what it took to get there. So let's say if you're doing, let's say if you want to get really strong at pull-ups and you do 10 sets of pull-ups in a week. So you do 2 workouts a week where you do 5 sets of pull-ups in each workout. And you go from not being able to do any pull-ups to being able to do 8 pull-ups. You can actually maintain 90% of that strength by doing 10% of the work. So you can do 1 set of pull-ups a week and still maintain 90% of the strength that you worked so hard to gain. And so that's a really, really important thing to understand, because like the way that my training is now is that I focus on something and I really put a lot of energy into just 1 or 2 things. And then when I've achieved a certain standard with those 1 or 2 things, I move on to something else. And so I'm just shifting out of a hypertrophy phase where I've been really focused on building muscle for the last couple of years. Because, I'm not taking steroids or any performance enhancing drugs or anything like that. So I have to do it the hard way. So I'm taking a whole lot of supplements and vitamins and things that have been shown to increase testosterone naturally. And so it's taken me time to build 10 kilos of muscle. It wasn't something that happened quickly and that happened overnight. But now because I'm getting very close to being able to look at my physique and go, yes, I don't have that imbalance in my chest anymore. I'm not lacking in muscle in my chest and lats like I was when I did my slap tears. And so now I can shift more into just a strength-based phase where I'm really trying to get that amount of weight that I can lift on my dips and on my pull-ups up. And of course, in the background, there's always structural balance work for my shoulders, for my forearms. I still do leg work, of course. I don't have big leg goals because legs have always been a strong point for me. Without a lot of effort, I was able to do a double bodyweight barbell back squat back when we were at Unity Gym. Like I didn't have to work too hard at that because my legs are very, very strong from over a decade of doing Kung Fu. So when I was 85 kilograms, so 5 kilograms lighter than I am now, I did a 170 kilogram back squat, arse to grass back squat after a good mesocycle of doing, some pretty hardcore strength training. So I don't have, my leg goals are really just to maintain strength, maintain flexibility. And the other thing is as well, my legs hypertrophy really easily. So I don't need to do much work with a barbell and my legs really blow up. And so that's just not a goal of mine. So look, I've got to go and teach a class now, everybody. And these streams for me on Tuesday and Thursday are always my shortest streams. But I hope that helps you guys. I hope that helps give you a little bit of understanding that for me, what's worked really, really well in my later age, at age 46 now, is that less is more. I really am achieving more by doing less, and I'm getting great results. My body is changing in the way that I really want it to. Going back to this, you can see my physique has changed a lot in the last couple of years. I've built a lot of the muscle that I want. I wouldn't mind putting on maybe another 2 or 3 kilograms, especially in my chest. I really don't want to go through any issues that I had before from having a lack of muscle in my pushing pattern, which caused these slap tears, and then I'm shifting into a real strength training phase to unlock those calisthenics movements. And it's working really, really well for me. I'm not getting injured. I'm making progress constantly. I'm motivated by my training. I don't have to dedicate huge amounts of time to my workouts anymore because I'm not trying to do a million things at once. Like it's just so clear what I have to do. And also by having such laser focused goals on those days where I'm or even weeks, on those weeks where I'm really, really busy and I don't have time to do all my workouts, it's really easy for me to still get a great workout in, we call it the minimum workout, where I just go, okay, I've only got 30 minutes today and I can only train 2 or 3 times this week. So I'm just going to do, my bent arm strength workout for pushing and pulling, and I'm just going to work out on these compound lifts, and I can still get a great workout in. And you can actually still make progress with strength and muscle development by only doing 3 sets if they're really high intensity sets of compound lifts. So, when you're really laser focused on your goal, it's really, really easy to make that shift when it's a busy week. And I think this is one of the biggest mistakes people make, and definitely one of the mistakes that I made in the past was having these workouts that were just these huge, long workouts where if I was too busy, it was just really easy to say, well, I don't have the time to do that workout, so I'm just going to skip it. But when your workouts are shorter, when your workouts are like just an hour, and you're just doing your strength and flexibility, and when you've got a really busy day, it's really easy to just say, you know what, I'm just going to do a warm up and I'm just going to do 2 or 3 sets of my primary lift and I'll just get that done. And, that becomes unreasonable to completely skip the workout, which is what it's all about. Holger's saying, I'm doing contraction stretching, loaded stretching. When and how often should I do static passive stretching to complement this training? That's a good question, and I'll answer that tomorrow. But can you please put that as a comment on one of my videos, maybe even the live stream from yesterday, because when this live stream goes down, that comment will be lost and I'll forget it because it's very early here in the morning and I'll forget what you asked. But I'll do a stream on that tomorrow, Holger. So if you please put that as a comment on one of my videos that isn't a live stream. And Kyle's saying, I wish you'd do some maintenance and prevention for slap tears. That just really got me in my head because I'm working on planche variations too. Great topic for another video, and I will gladly do an entire video. And great questions here. Again, Kyle, please do a bare minimum on daily warm-up, flexibility, mobility. Man, I'd love to. These are really good topics for me to do videos on, and I love that you guys are asking these questions. What I'm going to do, I'll do another post saying, hey, give me your ideas for your videos and put them on there. But if you comment on any of my videos, I'll see it and I'll remember to do it. And I will answer all 3 of those questions that you guys have just asked in this week. I've still got 3 more days that I'm going to do live streams this week, and I'll answer those because they're really, really good. But now I've got to run because I'm going to be late to my class. So hasta la vista, everybody. I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you.